How's it going, boys? It is me, Flower Dough. It is Flowers. Yeah. Last night I had a little conversation with Leffen, the pro Smash player, pro Melee player. Yeah, he's been playing Tekken quite a lot, as you can see. He's been doing pretty well. Emperor, which, but a few weeks of competing, grinding rank. He hasn't been playing at a... He's been playing Tekken on and off, right? Because, well, for his stream, I don't know exactly why. He's obviously interested in it to some extent. But yeah, he's had very vocal opinions about Tekken and about the community. He hasn't liked the game in some aspects. He's talked about the online not being great, talk about the price, the lack of training mode, the cheese. That's a whole nother topic we can get into. But the main thing that we're going to be talking about that resonated with me, that struck a chord with me, was about the community. Let's just read the first few tweets that he said. So literally since the first time I ever picked up a fight stick, has the FGC tried to gatekeep and downplay anything I achieved. Whether I got rank 1 online with Infinite fighters, people always try to discredit me because I come from Smash, while it still happened in 2020. If you don't think getting that high rank quickly is impressive, I implore you to get top rank Melee once rank comes out. Get top 5% literally any game that's already established within a month without prior experience of Gene, it's really hard. Hopefully, one day, the Tekken community will catch up to 2020 and stop gatekeeping. It absolutely hurts your scene, and it will fuck you over if it's still present when the Riot Fighter brings in the next wave. You don't own Tekken just because you sucked at it for 5 years more. I'm just trying to unpack that message. So, he's talking about placing high on the rank leaderboard, and of course, he hasn't seen how much rank is inflated from Season 1 to Season 3. It's pretty ridiculous, and it's something that wasn't even, at this point in Tekken Tag 2's lifespan, if this was 2015, and Tag 2 had been out for 3 years, even then, there still weren't very many Tekken gods around. And yet, people like the main man, for example, got Tekken god with like 20 plus characters. I'm not saying the main man is a bad player whatsoever, but I'm saying that shows how inflated it is. The main man's 20th character. He's not even a tournament player. He could be a tournament player if he wanted to be, but I digress. At the same time, of course, that does not discredit Leffen's achievement. I've been watching his streams, and he's been doing pretty well. He's definitely got a very core sense of how to play a very basic Tekken, defense, offense, all that jazz. I digress. Talking about the community, because that's really what it's about. He's saying that the community has been very toxic towards him, and it's not something you can dispute. The community has been toxic towards him. We can talk about why. But first of all, let's look at SpeedKicks. This is when SpeedKicks comes in, the retired pro Tekken player who's been around for a very long time, since Tag 2 days, retired very recently, Tekken community. And Leffen says, show me the helpful parts of Tekken Twitter and Reddit and Twitch. And I believe somewhere around here is what I started shipping. It's right around here. So, SpeedKicks names a few names: Cuddlecore, Shadow, Landon, who's been doing some fantastic tutorials. I definitely recommend following him. Fergus, Anakin's name a few. Basically everything that isn't a 1K view, a Twitch stream, chat, or Reddit like most games, and SpeedKicks is 100% correct. So let's see where it goes. And this is where I started shipping. So let's follow this main conversation. I've had 1K plus streams and read Reddit for 10 plus communities and never had one even come close to as toxic as Tekken. My main problem is there isn't much content outside of the toxic stuff, even if you look at the vast complete line. There is tons of content. You just have to look for it. There are so many good character discords out there. There's so many good YouTubers. There's podcasts. There's pro players playing on Twitch. They're just not at the absolute top of it. I'm not saying the guys at the top are toxic either. I think It's difficult. Let's keep reading because I have both free kicks and I have back and forth conversation. This is where I chip in. The pro Tekken community is not Reddit. This is my point. He's looking at Reddit. He's looking at his Twitch, where people tune in because he's the hot fad, right? He's a guy who's just came in now. The Tekken community has never been Reddit. We've always been, on the communities that the Asian players use. The Asian players have no reason to use Reddit, and Reddit itself is pretty cancerous. It's pretty cancerous, let's just be honest. Why he is looking on Reddit for his Tekken content is just beyond me. You don't go on the Tekken Reddit. At the same time, the fact that Tekken Reddit is bad is another point in and of itself. Maybe it should have better moderators, maybe it should have posts. Have stricter rules dictating that posts being toxic towards specific people should not be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. At the same time, Reddit is not where you get high quality Tekken. It never has and it never will be. You go onto YouTube, you go onto tutorials, you go onto character squads, you interact with people, you go onto pro players' Twitches, interact with people, interact with the community. Reddit is just a hot fad. It's just whichever hot takes that just get voted up to the top. It's a hive mind. The thing is that Tekken did actually have a fantastic community. It was called Tekken Zybotsu. And I say was because there is the Tekken Zybotsu Discord. That does not exist anymore. It doesn't exist. Well, I mean, it's not used, is my point. The Discord is, in the same way, Discord is almost as bad as Reddit when it comes to communities, right? Because you can't have specific conversations about things. It just goes up and up and up and then it's gone. And you can't, you have to dig back through every single post to find it. You can't have these specific conversations like you can on forums. And I think that's one of the most disappointing things about the growth of social media is that everything is hot, everything is now. It disappears so quickly. And I think that doesn't fit the Tekken community. And that's why most Tekken communities are now splintered. People have their favourite Tekken streamers, they go into their streams, they interact with people there. Let's carry on this conversation. This from my head. Try searching Leffen in any of the big character discords and see what comes up. Wink. I hate this. Because what this implies is that Leffen has gone into character discords and he's looked himself up. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You are actively looking for toxicity. You're looking for something to complain about. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. I'm not saying he doesn't get toxicity in his stream, right? The fact is, he's complaining about the game, he's complaining about the community, while actively playing it. It's like Stockholm Syndrome. Obviously it isn't, he's just doing it because he's a streamer and he's trying to get better at the game, right? And it's okay to have complaints about the game and still like it, of course, that's completely valid, but most people in the community, not the pro Tekken community, who enjoy watching Tekken streams, who enjoy playing Tekken casually, or who are pretty good at the game but don't attend tournaments or whatever, have their favourite tournament streamers, they don't see that. They just see this guy complaining and then still playing. And there is still an existing bias towards Smash players, and this is something that didn't really happen with Sonic Fox, right? When Sonic Fox came in, there was definitely a bit of toxicity towards him, because Sonic Fox is a very controversial person in and of themselves. But they just ignored it. Sonic Fox just ignored it, carried on, started making friends with people in the community, and just enjoyed the game for what it is. Sonic Fox didn't complain. He just enjoyed it, and then the toxicity left. It's almost as if you ignore it, it just goes. Right? And that's what is really frustrating me about Leffen. I actually really like Leffen. I am a casual Smash tournament viewer. I follow the scene, and Leffen's actually my favourite. And it's really disappointing to me that he's not enjoying the community. But let's carry on. So I completely ignored that. I tried focusing on the positive. Like I said, most old players shy away from large groups because it just becomes an echo chamber and allows voices to get heard. If you want content creators, I recommend Bluff the Salami, Landon, level up your game, Rip. I'm trying to help Leffen here. I'm trying to point him towards the positive aspects of a community. Let's see what he replied with. He ignored that. I carried on the conversation. I tried talking about streamers. Streamers are the best way. This is exactly what I just said. They attract people with the same vibe, right? You go into a streamer, and if you enjoy their vibe, then you'll be talking with people who enjoy the vibe. The streamer is the dominant voice. They control the flow of the conversation. They're the one who's actively talking. People in the chat react to the streamer, right? So it makes sense that if you enjoy a streamer, then you will find people in that community who also enjoy the streamer. You have something in common, similar points of views, right? And I recommended, some EU tournament streamers to recommend following. He ignored that. Nothing I can do. I'm trying to find where the conversation continued, because it did continue somewhere. It completely explains. I think let me go back to where he talked with Speed Kicks. It's definitely somewhere. Okay, here we go. So, of course, smaller streams and offline events aren't as toxic, but that's not where I or others spend most of their time. That's not true. I would say that's really not true at all. I mean, offline events, sure, it's locked down and you can't attend offline events, they don't exist. But smaller streamers, people have their favourite streamers, even if the favourite streamers are the main man. I wouldn't say the main man's toxic. I'd say he has some hot takes that the majority of the Tekken community don't necessarily agree with, but he's not toxic in and of himself, right? His opinions sometimes lead people down the wrong path, I would say. And I'd love to have a conversation with him about this. But I wouldn't say they're toxic. Leffen is breeding this toxic environment because he's saying he's going to ban people who backseat. He's going to ban people who don't agree with him. He's going to ban people who complain about him, who have negative opinions. And he himself is being negative. It's almost as if negativity breeds negativity. And in the example of Sonic Fox, positivity breeds positivity. He's going about it the wrong way. Speed Kicks. I don't know anyone who gets their Tekken content from Reddit, but there are people who just enjoy playing Tekken and are happy to help on Twitch and Twitter who just keep overlooking the chat replies. Lots of likes. This is a very agreeable take. Let's carry on the conversation. Actual Tekken players are not nearly as active on the internet as other games players on Twitter because the game's overloaded in old man culture. They have been dropping in, it's just you're locked in of your mission of fighting the haters. Leffen doesn't know who the good players are, that's fair. It's something you just kind of get a vibe on, right? The more you're in the scene, the more you realise who has the right takes and who doesn't. Let's see where the conversation continued. I think it's down here. So the Fergus coming in. I think you know yourself that Reddit and big Twitch chats can be bad, especially since you are a big name coming from another fighting game. You just have to dig a bit deeper and find like-minded people. That's always the case in every community. Leffen completely ignores that. He's saying the Tekken community is making excuses. He's focusing on the surface level, the surface toxicity that he is getting. But it's unique to him. And he's not getting that. It is unique to him. I'm not saying the Tekken community, I'm not saying that this isn't a problem. Right? There was a stuff with Michael Murray. A lot of people flamed him, were very negative to him because of his takes, just blog. Season 3 stuff. They took him off of Twitter. I'm not saying Tekken community's never done this before, but they're not going to do it again. And that is a problem. But Leffen is complaining about it, and he is saying to the guys in the Tekken community, the pro players, you fix your community. He's saying, I have a problem with it, it's turning me away. That's fine. But surely you could do more yourself. Right? There are people in your mentions who are actively coming up with ideas, who are giving you advice, who are trying to help, and you're just saying no and focus on these problems. You're not accepting the help. He's like Speed Kicks is really trying. He's really trying, but Leffen is just going past all of his points. this is where Leffen and I start having a long conversation. And I'll go back to speed kicks, but I'll focus on, or still do speed kicks. Realising the difference between you and Sonic on those issues that they got to meet everyone's before shutdown. That's not true. Leffen did attend a tournament. That's what everyone who grinds, participates, organises, creates content for, and facilitates the life of the game is doing. There's way less overlap in other games between the community that drives it and the fans who observe it, and you'll drive yourself mad. You know what? That's a very good take. Of course, they can ignore the internet they are already in, and plus don't get gatekept. Leffen getting gatekept by who? Nobody's gatekeeping him. There's guys in the community who are talking shit about him, but they don't matter. They're no names. They're nobodies. They're just trying to talk shit for the sake of talking shit because they don't like the negativity. Let's go down here. I think this is where we have a long conversation. Right. So Sonic Fight actually got and still gets a lot of shit. This is exactly what I said. Sonic Fight just made sense to the community. And he said, and Leffen saying, I just never said you can't survive it, and obviously he's still doing great. It doesn't change that it's bad. I'm saying I'm not. No, and he just ignored this, so I'm not gonna. He just ignored it. I offered. My suggestion was, if you don't want to ignore the hate, then contact some figureheads in the tech community like Reinhardt, Speed Kicks, Vip, Blasted Salami. Start a public discussion about what we can do better. Help the community get better. And he's just not. He ignored it. And he ignored Speed Kicks as well. I know I'm not as big a name as Speed Kicks. I haven't got the tick by my name right. But I'm really trying to help here. Let's go back here. There's a big disconnect between the top players and the people who go on Reddit and follow their favourite content. That's exactly what I said. The truth is, we prefer to ignore the sides of the community we don't like and grow our own corners that we do like. And I'm saying that is a problem. The community is a bit splintered at the moment, right? There's loads of little subsections of the community. The Tekken community is not one massive thing. You know, we interact with each other, but there's little side aspects, right? There's different communities in different countries, different streamers, all this stuff. We have our own little corners that we like the most. The friends that we have in the community, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But on the surface level, you don't see that. It takes time. It takes a long time to find friends who you really enjoy hanging out with in the community. It's just the way it is. I'm not necessarily thinking that's a bad thing, but Leffen's giving up on the first hurdle. I mean, it's a big hurdle for him. That is a problem, but he's the one who's starting it. I'm trying to find the... I'm trying to find the exact date because we go in for quite a long time last night. Okay, here we go. Who's in your mentions talking to you right now? Right, me, Speed Kicks, a lot of other top players. There are a few people who are talking shit. Right, but there are people who are, actively trying to help him, and he's just focusing on the toxic people who are saying shit. And if he's looking for them, which he was, he outright said he basically admitted that he's searching his name and character Discord, right, to try and look for shit that people have said about him. That's really not a great attitude to have, because you're just gonna, if you want to find negativity in life in general, you're gonna find it, right? You've got to just ignore the negativity. There's negativity everywhere you go in life. You've just got to ignore it and focus on the people in your life who can make it better. And Leffen's just not doing that. Right. Now, of course, do you need me to show you my mentions? It's full of people being toxic. Yeah, but yes, there are people being toxic with him because he's being negative about the community. He's not offering anything. He's not offering any suggestions. He's just being negative for the sake of being negative. My point is that you're instigating and enabling people to come talk shit. The same thing happened with Sonic Fox first, but they didn't care and it died down. Looking up your name and character Discord is a recipe for disaster. he's saying, why am I instigating by picking Kazumi by having opinions? Bullying is not a big deal, just ignore it. The lengths you guys go to not have to face reality. We have completely different viewpoints, and we're not agreeing, right? I'm offering suggestions. I mean, obviously there's too much for him to ignore, but his attitude is causing it. I'm not saying the community doesn't have toxicity. I've been personally and specifically bullied by some particular groups of people. This is true. I have been bullied in the Tekken community. I haven't called it out because I'm not in the Discord groups anymore and I don't have the receipts. It'd be my word against theirs. It's not something I want to do. And it doesn't matter anymore. I have my own friends. I'm past it. Right? That was a long time ago. It did happen though. The Tekken community is not a nice place. 6 months ago, I talked about the Michael Murray thing. But I said, the Blasted Salami, fantastic guy, does amazing podcasts about really cool topics in the community. Hosted a great podcast with tons of figureheads, Ryan Hart, Fag, Fergus, The Main Man, Rip, MYK, Dinosaur, right? He hosted this massive podcast with all of these guys. Arthur Hedge was in it. And we talked about the problems of season 3, they talked about the problems with Michael Murray, they came up with solutions. And ever since then, people have been nicer to Murray. But Leffen just focused on negative. He just said, I'd just rather play a different game where I don't need to ignore 80% of what's said on it. And I said, I disagree. People have been nicer to Rada and Murray since then. I tried coming up with as many ideas as I can think of. If you can't get past the negative parts of the community, then I can only say sorry. And Speedkicks actually did a little tweet. I get way too invested in trying to help people enjoy Tekken 7 for some reason. Speedkicks also got very invested in just trying to help Leffen enjoy the game, right? And he just couldn't. In trying to help the community, in trying to find good places. And Leffen's just stuck on this problem. And he's not offering solutions. So, of course, if you're stuck on this problem, you're focusing on the negativity, you're not offering solutions to it, you're ignoring other people's ideas and suggestions, and there's nothing we can do. And that's just it. So, I don't really have a central point, but it's just something I want to talk about because it really frustrated me. His point of view really frustrated me. And it is what it is. It's disappointing, but at the end of the day, he didn't like the game much anyway, so he's going to keep playing. He'll probably get Tekken Gold Prime, he'll probably stop there. He'll probably be able to say, look at me getting Tekken Gold Prime, I can't, I did it, I can get good at this game if I wanted to, and Leffen can get good at it. If he kept playing until offline events came back up, he'd probably be able to place. You can see that he has a good eye for Tekken. He just has these weird takes, and I agree that the community has problems, but he is not offering solutions. He's not. If he wanted to, he could talk to some guys in the community. He is big enough to start a conversation, and he's just not doing it. And that's the thing that annoys me the most. He's saying the community needs to deal with it. We don't have this problem. You have this problem. Talk to us about it. Start a conversation about what the Tekken community can do better, and he's just not doing it. I think that's all I have to say, really. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys got something out of it.